One of the most memorable things about this journey is just how beautiful the United Kingdom is. You know, when people are travelling about in their daily lives, people spend a lot of time on roads or in urban areas. But even though they might have this very urban and built experience, that doesn't mean that's what our country looks like. So I had a simple idea, to go on a walk and make a short film that shows the United Kingdom in the correct proportions, from pastures to hills to mountains. So it's such a pleasure seeing this diversity of landscape as you travel around the country. You know, what a glorious place for people to go out and be able to get in touch with nature and be awe-inspired and enjoy. You know, really worth celebrating and championing. It was really important to me that we worked from the air. I think it's just one of the most beautiful things to watch and to observe. It's almost like you're getting this bird's eye view and you're flying, and you can start to see things differently and in new ways than if you were on the ground. And I think a great example of that is the bogs in the far north of Scotland. You know, these are the landscapes that you look across and they look really barren and really bleak and almost featureless. But as soon as you get that aerial vantage point, you start to see these beautiful features, these incredible landscapes. So you have these fantastic shapes that almost make the bogs look like the United Kingdom from the air. And it's not until you have that position that you start to see the landscape differently. You start to think about things differently. You start to see how it's very hard to find actually any part of this country where people haven't had some kind of an imprint on the landscape. Emotionally, there was a sense of loss because we're making this film in a really systematic way. We're driving along in the vehicle and we've got a map for the whole of the country that breaks down the country according to these different types of land that we're trying to film from the air, whether it's woodland or bog or moorland or industrial sites. All the time you're noticing these incredible things you'd love to include in this film, but they are statistically, for the sake of the film, irrelevant. You know, they're offshore or they're too small. So there's this one place in the east of Scotland where there's this graveyard of giant decommissioned oil rigs, these dinosaurs sticking out of the water. You know, these are telling us a story about how we consume our resources, the oil we use, our contributions towards climate change, but also telling a story about where things go when they're no longer needed. And then again, the same thing happening. Some of the most photogenic locations, like airfields, like bare rocks, like watercourses, actually in the final film are gone within the blink of an eye because they occupy just such a small amount of space. I don't think anyone has a clue what Britain really looks like. And I think that's a problem. I think it's a problem when people are making decisions about how much more space we can have for nature in our country. If people's geographical imaginations are so distorted, then how can people come up with proportionate solutions to the problems that we face? You know, 1 in 7 species in the UK is at risk of extinction. 1 in 5 mammals is at risk of extinction. Could we create more space for wildlife? Of course we can. I hope this film ignites a conversation about what we want the United Kingdom to look like and be like in the future.